So 1World is all about partnerships. I'm sure many of you folks are watching our social media and various announcements about the new publishers that we're launching or partners and what exactly we do together. Because the major differentiation of 1World is that we are open system. Not only publishers and partners can use our widgets, but they can actually use our APIs and SDK and moving this functionality into their own experiences. So let me walk you through a few examples. So we have a partnership with Bitfury, which is a top blockchain company, SNT Media, which is a big advertising company, and BlockCrunch, which is a new technology company based in New York. Well, I'm very excited about this partnership, and I'll tell you more. But of course, on top of this new developments, we continue our overall strategy, the same one as we outlined in the white paper. So we keep working with media holdings, both US and international. And our commitment is to launch at least one per quarter. And then we continue selling to our regional partners. We have a couple of agents in various regions, for example, Eastern Europe, that are promoting our solution to the existing networks. And what is very different now comparing to what we had before the ICO, we have a major incentive for publishers and partners to use our tool above the competition, because we can give them these tokens from the mining pool. So they can use them to incentivize their audiences and make it truly attractive. So everybody earns something. People earn tokens, publishers get more impressions for advertising, and advertisers get a better quality of campaigns and better conversion rates. So it's a definitely win-win-win situation. So now we can see it in action. Now, in terms of details, let me go quickly through these three partners. So Bitfury, as many of you know, is a top Western company that is doing Bitcoin mining, but not only. So there are only two Chinese companies that are high in volume. So if you look at the Western world, Bitfury is number one. They have very strong backers. For example, Richard Branson of Virgin Group of Companies is behind them. And they usually do the summer conference at his Necker Island. So the photo here is exactly this example where the Bitfury hosted by Richard Branson in July last year. So they not only a mining company, they actually developed also Exonum, which is a very high performance private blockchain that we started integrating into 1World. Bitfury is very interested in media space, and they already have successes in fintech and government tech, but 1World is their first official partner to promote Exonum as a solution for media tech. So the major differentiation is that they have anchoring mechanism, which allows to accumulate transactions on the private blockchain first, and then move them to the public blockchain for the external transactions. One other thing I want to mention, that they started this WIN initiative last year, Worldwide Identity Network, which I believe is exactly what the industry needs, and the overall source of blockchain expertise all around. So we're definitely looking forward to create a major PR wave based on this opportunity. We already did press release last year, but now we want to expand it with some practical cases and examples of the projects that we're gonna do together. For example, we want to collect commercial data on the Exonum blockchain. So it's verifiable, and people who do mini surveys, they can see exactly who voted and how, and it's cannot be changed over time. So we really like this partnership, and I think it's going to work well for 1World. So expect more news for both sides. We're going to advertise it, and Bitfury is going to advertise it. So that's an example, by the way. I really recommend you to look at their blog and see what they're up to. Like Exonum solution is probably definitely better than Ethereum and Bitcoin in terms of performance. And they have a lot of good use cases. Next one I want to talk about, I just met them actually yesterday in Seattle, is SNT Media. That's a company based in Kansas, Wichita, and they developed an AI engine to generate content. So we already working with the ad operations team for a few months and using the high performing advertising solution because we are truly supplemental to each other. They generate content, we generate questions. And in both cases, we use programmatic advertising to make money through publisher network. So there's two things we want to do together. is one is to grow our joint business through growing CPMs and growing the volume of our traffic. But also there's a really interesting discussion going on about our possible product integration going forward. So that's something we want to do later this year, because we have plenty of things to do for the first half of 2018. But the second half, definitely expect us to be a little bit more involved with the AI. Like, I'll give you a very simple use case. When the question is created, today is done manually or leveraged from a library. So what we want to do is generate some of these questions automatically based on this intelligence. We already have IBM Watson integrated in our system, but this is much more powerful and much more targeted for some verticals. They do a really good job for sports, financial, and real estate verticals already. So that's a classical example when I think is 1 + 1 = 10 integration. And as you probably can imagine, the folks in Midwest, it's a very good resource. So they definitely value their job and want to develop the best solution to compete with the traditional innovation centers like Silicon Valley or New York. So the team is very ambitious and I really like them a lot. I was there for a few days and really think that they are a great supplement for 1World. That's their website. I encourage you folks to check it out, and you can see already that they advertising interactive components. So they absolutely bought into our vision and want to go this route in their development. And the third company I want to mention to you, because I know that most of you are very interested in blockchain and cryptocurrencies and where technology goes and what to expect next. So we met an amazing startup based in New York, and we met them through our investors that are building a big data around ICO companies. So essentially it's a database similar to Crunchbase, but called BlockCrunch. And they're building a news feed around it. So they want to collect information about the companies and information about industry, all kind of smart news aggregation, and put this together to have a deep analytics by profiling these ICOs and recommending the good ones. And they also run in some services around it by offering a one-stop solution for companies that want to run ICO. So we actually already have a few joint customers with them in development. So that's a company that I think is very important for us to build a very successful case where the 1World tools are used in exactly the way they should be for interactive campaigns. But the focus, the specific advertisers are companies doing ICOs. We actually did it last year a few times, and this year we want to create a really powerful pipeline of companies doing ICO. And I'll show you some materials shortly about this. So that's the BlockCrunch website. You can see that they cover the latest news. They show some ratings or engagement about this news, and they want to put a really strong educational component. I know it's very much needed in India, by the way, because so much controversy about and the US, of course, too. We have all kind of interesting debates going on about what regulations should be in and how to participate in this token economy. And of course, cryptocurrency speculations is always a big topic. But overall, people need education for sure. And that's the side that will be offering both the news aggregation and education. And they're going to use our tools for that. So please stay tuned. We're probably going to announce this partnership more formally and start promoting it in various social channels.